Where is Bo Bichette? Why am I not finding him in this? I don't have a good feeling about Bo Bichette in MLB's top 100 players right now. In fact, there's a lot in here that I don't have a good feeling about. Players that were left off that were rather surprising, but there is some good in this. We're going to go through the top 100 players. I'm going to give you my thoughts on this. Some areas where it looks like they're reaching, some players that are massively being disrespected and slept on. Bo? No? Let's go. Let's start with this, and make sure to hit that like if you enjoy your time here. Let's start here. We're going to go through the chunks that they go through. This is the 100 through 91 group, and right off the bat, you can see they're making a statement, adding Roki Sasaki into this list. Little bit of a spoiler. There will be maybe spoilers along the way as we go here. There is no Aaron Nola. There is no Pablo Lopez. There is no Hunter Brown. There is no Luis Castillo. Roki Sasaki, who has not thrown a single pitch of professional Major League Baseball, we're going to rank him higher than those pitchers. Kevin Gausman, anybody. So, okay, look, I get what they're doing here. You got to have Roki on the list to grab some eyeballs. But kind of, are we hurting the legitimacy before we even start counting? I think Roki's going to be great, but is he already a top 100 player? What do you think below? Seriously, comments. Should Roki be on this list? All right, let's continue. Of these 100 to 91 guys, there are several that I would take out. I'm close on taking James Wood out. Seeing him at 98 is, again, kind of surprising, but I went back and I looked. He really was exciting for the Nats last year when they called him up, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it, even though there are a lot of other veterans that have done more for more years. I'm okay with it. I see that some of this is about ascending and right now and where we're headed. But I got to take Brandon Nimmo out. Sorry, Mets fans. I cannot put Nimmo in the top 100. I can't put Nolan Arenado in the top 100 anymore. And I can't put Paul Goldschmidt in the top 100. They got to go. And I need spots because later on in this video, I'm going to give you guys that I want to add into the list. And the only way I can do that is if I'm removing guys. So the players that I'm going to give you in a couple of minutes should take the place of these three. And I will be pulling more out as well. Let's move on to the next group. This is the 90 to 81 guys. Be real. Seriously. How many of you want to take Luis Ariz off of this thing? With all of the hate that has been thrown around with this man's name, look at his previous rank too. This is one heck of a drop from 43 to 83 for Luis Ariz, barely holding on. I'm going to leave him in, but I have a feeling there are a lot out there that would love to get Ariz off this list. Probably also would like to get number 81, Mark Vientos, off this list as well. But we're going to leave Vientos. We're going to leave Ariz. We're not going to kill this and criticize this too much. Let's keep moving here because we don't get hung up too long. This is now our 80 through 71 group. There is some excellent pitching in this group. Why did that go backwards? Something just went backwards. Here we go. Now we're right. Excellent pitching in this group with Tyler Glasnow, Seth Lugo, George Kirby, Zach Gallen, Devin Williams, Mason Miller. These are great pitchers. There are Cy Young candidates in this group with Gallen and Kirby and Glasnow. This kind of gives me a feeling that pitching is going to be slept on here. In the bottom third, Cy Young candidates kind of, again, feels like they may be undervaluing pitching. I tend to overvalue pitching here, so maybe this is my barometer test here. I do have to boot two more players. Cody Bellinger, sorry. I think he's going to be better at Yankee Stadium, but I can't put him in the top 100. I would have him just outside the top 100. If I were to go to 105, maybe he could fall in that 101 to 105 range. I also got to take Seiya Suzuki out. I like Suzuki, but I can't put him ahead of the caliber of pitching we just talked about. So Belly and Suzuki are out. 70 through 61, things start to get a little dicey. Do we want Yelich all the way up at 61? Do we want Schwarber in here at 65? Imanaga at 64 ahead of Kirby, who was at number 75, or Gallen, who was at 76. We're putting Imanaga above those two. Seeing Byron Buxton at 68 tells me we are taking injuries into account here. Also, I didn't mention it, but Jacob deGrom is on this list at 99. So injury history and risk of injury moving forward is apparently having an impact or coming into the thought process here. I'm foreshadowing. It'll be on the screen in a minute or two. So how are we feeling about Schwarber and Yelich and Imanaga here, and Buxton being all the way down at 68? And Buxton wasn't even ranked the year before, so this is him entering the top 100. Let's go on to this 60 through 51 group. Fascinating decision here to stack Adley Rutschman, Cal Raleigh, and Will Smith back to back to back, 58, 59, and 60. It's an interesting choice. And having Adley above Raleigh is just the wrong placement. Cal Raleigh was significantly better than Adley Rutschman last year, and I don't see why he wouldn't be again this year. I do like that Logan Gilbert is finally seeing some respect, was unranked last year. I was high on him heading into the season, and I think he performed as an ace of a staff, and he will continue to do so. So I'd like to see him showing up here at the number 51 spot. Let's go into the top 50 now, and we get into the 50. Look at Pete Alonso in at number 49, one spot behind Christian Walker. Interesting, right? I think either Pete is being overranked or Christian Walker is being underranked. I'm going to say, so I don't want to throw any disrespect to Pete, I'm going to say Christian Walker is being underranked here. I would put Christian Walker ahead of the next few hitters at the very least. Marcell Ozuna, Brent Rooker, DHs. They have Brent Rooker at left field, but Brent Rooker is going to be a DH. I would put Christian Walker because he is maybe the best defensive first baseman in the game. I got to move him up a few spots, and at the very least, I have to have him in front of the designated hitters. I'd also have him over the injured Carlos Correa, who we were talking about injuries being an issue with Jacob deGrom being 99, with Byron Buxton being back around the number 70 spot. But Carlos Correa is going up from 68 to 42. He was hurt again last year. I know when he's out there, it's good, but it's good for a lot of these guys when they're out there if they deal with injuries. Why is he not getting dinged for his injury situation? I would have Carlos Correa back where he was last year. I got to move Carlos Correa back 20 spots, and this is all giving me room to move Walker up ahead of Ozuna, ahead of Rooker, ahead of Correa. I do like that we are giving Cole Ragans some love. This was another one last year. I had him in my top 100. MLB did not. Seeing him, are we going to call this a debut? I mean, they keep track of last year's rank. I don't know if we want to call it a debut, but he's here at number 43. I think that's a good spot for him. I do like to see that. So let's continue here again. I would move Correa back a couple of spots. Let's move on to the next group, this 40 through 31 group. And right off the bat, Jackson Chourio at number 40 is criminally underranked. I mean, if we're putting Roki Sasaki in at 100, he hadn't even thrown a pitch. Why isn't Jackson Chourio higher after what he did the second half of last season? Unbelievable stuff. Superstar level stuff. He's going to break out and he's going to be considered. Next year, we'll be talking about Jackson Chourio in the top 10. This is supposed to also be like where we're going a little bit, right? So we got to get Jackson Chourio higher than this. He needs to be much higher. Mike Trout in at 39. Again, it's another obvious injury penalty. So again, why didn't Carlos Correa pay one? We also have, let's move on from Trout. Let's go to Alex Bregman next. 37th. Alex Bregman at 37. His offensive numbers went backwards again last year. That was the second, third year of that decline. I can't move him up. I can't go from 44 to 37 for Alex Bregman with that in mind. It feels like 44 should be as high as you want to go. I can't move him up. He's 30, and he's regressing with the bat. And now with Boston's situation and where he's going to play, he's not even going to play his best defensive position. I can't have Bregman in the top 40. I would probably, honestly, like to move Bregman out of the top 50. But at the very least, if I were to re-rank this, I would park him back where he was last year. I can't move him up, though. Let's go. This 32 through 35 group is kind of fascinating. A bunch of guys that were all top 20 last year that have fallen outside of the top 30 this year. Corbin Carroll, Austin Riley, Matt Olson, and Trey Turner all taking some big falls backwards. In some instances, more than double where they were last year. Riley going from 15 to 33. Olson going from 13 to 34. Turner going from 16 to 35. These are big drops. And Corbin Carroll, I thought Corbin Carroll had started to get it right. So I feel like maybe we should have softened that for him. And we could maybe have kept Corbin Carroll in the top 25 conversation. But you see 3 or 4 really significant players, top 20 last year, falling outside of the top 30 this year. Let's go. One more here. That's right. Elly De La Cruz in at 31. I'd have him higher. I would have him higher. We're going to slide over to this next group, the 30 through 21 guys. I would have Elly here. You'll see the very first guy on this 30 through 21 group. Clearly, Elly should be ahead of. And that is none other than Jose Altuve. Sorry. At this point, I would not have Altuve ahead of Elly De La Cruz. And that's what happens when you put players right next to each other. We're going to judge and compare them when they're back-to-back like that. It's the easy comparison to make. And obviously, I would take Elly De La Cruz 7 days a week and twice on Sunday over Jose Altuve. I would also have Elly up ahead of Machado, by the way. I don't know if I would go ahead of Contreras. He's fantastic. But definitely moving him up a couple of spots here. Contreras is awesome. I'm a big Duran guy in at number 27. I like that. Let's get to this Cy Young situation here. You have Garrett Cole and Corbin Burnes. This is, again, you put them back to back like this. It's an easy comparison. You like Burnes or do you like Cole? You can make an argument that they should both be a little bit higher, but putting them back to back, who do you take? If I had to take one at this point, I probably lean Burnes. How about Julio and Jackson Merrill? This is another one. Putting them back to back. 2 center fielders. Jackson Merrill, not ranked last year, took the league by storm. A top 25 player now. Is that too high of a jump? Should Burnes or Cole be ahead of him? I'm fine with it. I'm fine with him at 24. And if I had to pick between Julio or Jackson Merrill, it's crazy, but this is just the year Julio had last year. I'm taking Jackson Merrill. And then you have Devers against Nando. You have the third baseman who's not that great defensively, and a right fielder who has shown to be elite defensively, playing a more premium position. How do we get Devers ahead of Nando? I can't see that. I got to have Fernando Tatis Jr. higher than Rafi Devers in this case. Let's go to just outside the top 10 now. We have the group from 20 through 11, and we continue with the head-to-head matchups here. Zach Wheeler, Chris Sale. Which way are you going? I'm probably going to lean Chris Sale, but that's no disrespect because we're talking about 2 of the best here at this point. And then you've got Ketel Marte and Corey Seager back-to-back. I'm probably going to lean Ketel Marte right now, but that is, again, no disrespect to Corey Seager. Ronald Acuna Jr. in at 16. Number 1 last year, down to 16. This is obviously because he's not going to potentially be the full 100% go Ronald that we have seen and that we know we will see again, but we don't know if he will be that in 2025 coming back from injury. So he falls from 1 to 16 here. Is that too significant? Is that too significant of a drop? I argue it probably is. I would still put Ronald in the top 10. Look, hey, if we're not dinging Carlos Correa for injuries. Can we keep Ronald in the top 10 at the very least? Again, Correa is the only one that they didn't, and I know I keep harping back on it because it drove me nuts when I was going through this. He's the only one that did not get an injury ding. Everybody else has, and this is just another one. Ronald going from 1 to 16. 15 is Paul Skeens. Love that. I mean, the future of Major League Baseball with Paul Skeens. That is fantastic. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. in at 13. Is everybody good with that? Is everybody good with that? I can see some pushback. Those in favor of Kyle Tucker or Ronald Acuna Jr. or even Seager and Marte, more premium defensive positions, probably want to bump ahead of Vladimir Guerrero Jr., who goes from 52 to 13. But obviously, I mean, as a Jays fan, I'm good with it. I would love to see Vladimir Guerrero Jr. as the top 13 player in Major League Baseball this year. So that's Vladdy. We also have Bryson at 12. How's everybody feeling about that? I have a feeling there are many that don't like it because Bryce is such a polarizing figure. So, and then we have Tarik Skubal. Tarik Skubal is the top-ranked starting pitcher in baseball. The second pitcher ranked is Paul Skeens. So it's Skubal and Skeens in there as the top pitching. I mentioned earlier NL Cy Youngs, talking about Corbin Burns. Obviously, Paul Skeens would stand in the way of Corbin Burns and the NL Cy Young. Let's go here. Let's talk about the players that are not here, because there are some big ones. I jokingly started this video about Bo Bichette, but he's not here. There is no Bo Bichette. 3 years prior, easily a top 100 finisher. Colton Cowser, the AL Rookie of the Year runner-up. No, sir. Pablo Lopez, maybe one of the most underrated players in baseball, one of the top strikeout artists. Don't look at his ERA, look at his FIP. Josh Naylor, 30 homers. He's only 27 years old. Hunter Brown was excellent last year. He's a guy who next year, I think Hunter Brown probably gets the Logan Gilbert or the Cole Ragans treatment where he's all of a sudden shows up at the number 50 spot next year. Hunter Brown will be on this list next year. There is no Luis Castillo. For everything that Seattle Mariners fans have told me and everything that Jerry DiPoto believes in when he's talking trade with others, how is Luis Castillo not here? Even though I'm throwing shade right now, I do believe that he should be in the top 100. He has a case. There's no Josh Hader. Just look at that K rate. It's Josh Hader. We have relievers. We have Williams. We have Clase. How is Josh Hader not here? We have Luis Heel. He's not here. Or I should say we don't have Luis Heel. The American League Rookie of the Year. No. Aaron Nola. He's elite. Just not elite enough, I guess. So remember how I took some names out back earlier in the list? I did that because I want to add players in. And I'm blanking if I took 4 or 5 off, but I've got 4 that I want to add. I think I might have taken 5. Let me do the numbers here. I think I might have taken 5, but I have 4 that absolutely, certainly need to be added, and it's none of these guys. It's not even any of these that need to be added. First name that must be added is Ryan Helsley. Look at Ryan Helsley's numbers last year. 49 saves. Look at all of the red on his Baseball Savant page. The chase rate, the whiff rate, the K rate, it's all top of the league stuff. And he doesn't even make... I honestly, truly believe they forgot about Ryan Helsley. The other names that I'm going to show you, I think it's easy to sleep on. I think they forgot about Ryan Helsley. What about Tanner Scott? Why is he not here? I refuse to believe they forgot about him. Tanner Scott last year was electric. Absolutely amazing stuff. Look, again, Mason Miller was on that list. Emmanuel Clase is on that list. Devin Williams is on that list. Tanner Scott is in the category with those pitchers. How is he not there? Again, and I told you who I'm taking out. I'm taking Cody Bellinger out. I'm taking Paul Goldschmidt out. I'm taking Seiya Suzuki out. I'm taking guys out. These guys belong in over those guys. I also want to give some love to Brenton Doyle. There may be no Rockies fans that watch this channel because I don't know how Rocky fans can be excited about baseball right now, and to come watch baseball videos on YouTube, I think you kind of need to be excited about baseball. Those Rocky fans that are watching this video, I salute you because you're going through hell right now. But Brenton Doyle needs to be on everybody's radar, needs to be on a top 100 list. Just go to, after this, search Brenton Doyle's name and go look up some of his highlights. It's amazing. And it's not just the amazing defensive plays he's putting on there from a base running perspective, from a hit tool. Look at this guy. Last year, 23 home runs, 30 stolen bases, a 765 OPS in his second full season. That is an incredible leap year over year. And what he does defensively and what he does on the base paths is tremendous. How's he not here? Slept on. This is a total sleeper play here. They're not paying attention to the players in Colorado. Brenton Doyle is amazing, and he needs to be on this list. I also want Tristan Casas on this list. I am a big Tristan Casas guy. Anybody who has watched any of the coverage on the channel as we went through the whole Alex Bregman and Nolan Arenado trade sagas, I have had nothing but glowing things to say about Tristan Casas. I think people have forgotten how good he is. He spent so much of 2024 hurt. But look at 2023. These are his savant metrics from 2023. The dude crushes the baseball, and he's only going to get better. 25 years old. Now, he doesn't make the top 100 because of the whole injury thing that everybody was impacted by except Carlos Correa. I promise that's the last time. But Tristan Casas really should be on this list. He's a phenomenal baseball player and is only getting better. Let's go to the top 10. So I am short one. So if I need, because I took 5 out. I took 5. I took Bellinger. I took Suzuki. I took Goldschmidt. I took Arenado. And I took Brandon Nimmo off the list. So if I get one more spot to add another player, let's say from this group, I'm going to take the AL Cy Young. Luis Gil. Give me an award winner. The award winners have to be here. Sorry, Bo. I'd love to add Bo Bichette, but I'm going to give it to the award winner. And the other thing about Ryan Helsley, one last piece on him, he was the first team closer on that all MLB team that they do. And he doesn't make the top 100 list. Again, all I can think is that they forgot about Ryan Helsley. Let's get into the top 10. For the most part, I don't have too many issues. The back of the top 10 needs some tweaking, and I'll show you what I mean. So at 10, we have Gunnar Henderson. At 9, we have J-Ram, and Cleveland fans are pissed about it. You've got Freddie Freeman at number 8, and you've got Yordan Alvarez in at number 7. I need to rework that. I have to rework that. This is how I would do it. At number 10 is Yordan Alvarez. At number 9 is Freddie Freeman. Sorry, Freddie, but I'm going to go with Gunnar ahead of Freddie, which, come on. Freddie's amazing. We're still talking about Freddie as number 9 here, but Gunnar's a shortstop. Gunner's tremendous. Go look at his numbers. Gunnar is phenomenal. Gunnar, even at 8, is probably being slept on. And number 7 has to be J-Ram. And again, Cleveland fans, maybe you want him higher. I have a feeling that when it's all said and done and when we take a look at the numbers, J-Ram may end up outperforming this number. But as we head into the season, J-Ram has to be number 7. I cannot have him with the how productive he is. I just cannot have him any lower than this. The rest of the way, I'm pretty good. Number 6, Francisco Lindor. I'm all right with that. Number 5, Mookie Betts. Sounds good. Number 4, Bobby Witt. I'm happy. Number 3, Juan Soto. Sold. Number 2, Aaron Judge. We're good. Number 1, Shohei Ohtani. Obviously, no complaints there, but just a little bit of movement there in the back half of the top 10. The biggest issue are those handful of players that are left off that really, truly needed to be on this list. And we're not, whether they're being slept on, forgotten about. I don't know how you'd forget about Ryan Helsley, but it appears they must have. You can't even sleep on Ryan Helsley. You just have to have forgotten about him when you were going through the list. That's the only explanation there is. That is MLB Network's top 100 right now. What do you think? Comment down below. Like it, dislike it. Players that should be on there, totally ruins the whole thing for you because they're not on there, so the list is garbage. What do you think? I do this to try to get us all on the same page because there are definitely some areas where things need to be corrected and fixed here. So we're doing our best to, again, provide a voice of reason in this, this MLB universe of madness and craziness. That is going to do it for me, everybody. I do appreciate you coming in to the 100 Club. Thank you for making it all the way to the end. As you know, it does amazing things for the algorithm, so thank you for that. Like Mob, make sure to hit that like on the way out if you have not yet. And as always, if it's low, let it go. And if it's high, let it fly. I'll catch you next time.